Hello, and welcome to Conversations with Linda. I'm Linda. Now, you all know I love a good conversation, so let's have one. Today, I have two guys that are young, single, and successful preachers that are going to have a conversation with me. I wanted to have this conversation because I think they have a unique perspective on relationships and dating and just being a preacher too. So Conversations, please welcome to our show, Johnteris, Tate, and Frank Ray III. Welcome, guys.
It's good to be here.
Amazing to be here.
I hope you all are okay with me not using titles today.
Of course.
Yeah. We know you're pastor, all right? You're reverend, so we mean no disrespect.
Yes.
But I just kind of wanted to have a very casual conversation with you.
Yes.
So I want to just start with allowing you all to tell our chit-chatters, that's what I call them.
Right.
Tell them a little bit about yourself. You want to start? Because you look like you
Look,
ready.
I can start.
Can I call you Trey?
You can call me Trey.
Okay. You know, my son calls you Trey, so that's why okay.
Trey, that's what we're going to roll with.
Okay.
So my name is Frank Ray III, a.k.a. Trey. They call me Pastor Trey in New Salem. I just turned 36, February 23rd.
Okay.
I've been preaching for 16 years now.
Wow.
Quite a long time for my age. And I just like to have fun. I like to have real, raw, and relevant conversations. And so this was right up my alley.
Okay.
Especially when I found out Tate was going to be on here too. So I'm looking forward to this.
Okay. Listen, this is going to be a ride today.
Yeah.
All right. Tell us about you.
Johnteris Tate, 29 years old. I turned 29 on February the 12th. So y'all already know what this is going to be like.
My.
2 February, guys.
Yep.
Born, raised here. Live now in the great state of California, Los Angeles. And I just love what I do. You know, church.
You're
is what I
pastoring
do.
there.
I do pastor church. I'm around Baptist Church.
Okay.
Been there going on 5 years now.
Yeah.
Wow.
5 years. So it's been a fun ride. And so I was excited.
How long have you been preaching?
Since I was 9 years old. So y'all can relate that up.
So you were the little boy they had to put on the step.
step.
Okay. I know
Yes,
those cats. I know those cats. Okay. That is awesome. I mean, let me just say, I'm honored to be in your presence.
Oh, well,
And I am, excited about what God is doing in your lives. This
Appreciate
young,
that.
I mean, can you imagine where you all are going to be
Wow.
when you get my age at this rate? With all that you've already achieved and the positions that you have as pastors. I mean, it's phenomenal. So let's get started.
All right, let's roll.
Back in the day, in my day, y'all, I'm going to be saying back in the day a lot, all right? Because I'm twice their age almost. Not twice your age. Maybe not even twice your age, but almost. But I got kids you all's age. Back in the day, churches required that you be married to be a pastor. Now, I'm going to direct this one to you because you're pastoring a church as a senior pastor right now. You're pastoring as well, but you're with, okay. So, but churches used to require that a man be married to let him be a pastor.
Most definitely.
Is that still in place now?
From my perspective, being in California, I don't think it's a demand.
Okay.
Not anymore. I think they would love to see you married. But they rather have peace if it's going to be some chaos involved. But I don't think it's a stipulation now that you have to be married because I'm not married now. And I'm still the pastor. Yeah. And I can pastor more freely and they still receive everything that I say. Even in talking to married couples and trying to encourage them and other things. But I think it's not a demand anymore that you have to be. I think everybody desires their pastor to be married. And they want to be happy.
Balance and temptation and
right,
all that. You know I'm going to talk about that, right? You know I'm going to talk about that.
That's right.
So, but with both of you, you're very young. And How is that with older members? And, your experiences are different. It's a different day.
Mm-hmm.
How do you navigate that? Whether it's about marriage or anything, the expectations of older members.
Well, for me, I'm a realist, so
Okay.
most of them are single.
Okay.
Most of them are divorced.
Okay.
So for me, it's a matter of how you're going to have a requirement for me that you're not in yourself.
Okay.
And I want to go a little deeper on the first
Let's go
front
deep.
end of the.
Okay.
If it is still a stipulation or requirement, I believe it's a miss. It's a complete miss, even from a Bible standpoint.
Say more.
A lot of people try to use Timothy. That
Okay.
A man who desires the office of a bishop should be the husband of one wife.
Okay.
Well, who's writing that?
Mm-hmm.
If Paul is writing that and Paul's not married, that could not have been what he had meant, that you had to be married.
Right.
What Paul was actually saying is that if you're going to be married, you should just have one.
Okay.
Right.
And so it's a miss.
I
think it's a lack of understanding.
Mm-hmm.
And Paul even says that a man who is unmarried seeks the things of the Lord, how it may be pleasing unto him.
Right.
But a man who is married has to seek the things of the word, how it may be pleasing unto his wife.
Mm-hmm.
So a man who is unmarried, if he's doing it right, is able to perhaps give a little bit more of himself to the congregation, a little bit more of himself to the work. Because as you know, a man who is married has to split time.
You gotta balance that thing.
Yeah, he gotta balance.
You gotta balance.
Well, it's gonna be a problem.
Yeah, absolutely. So with that said, you said, you talked about, and Paul said he wished everybody was single, right? Because you have more time to devote to the Lord, which is what you said. But how do you guys navigate this whole single life as young preachers, pastors? The temptations that come with it all. How do y'all do that? Who
you gotta talk to somebody. You gotta talk to somebody.
You gotta date.
You gotta date. You gotta.
I think for the positions that we hold,
mm-hmm.
you do have to be careful, number one.
Right.
And then secondly, you have to be discreet.
Right.
Okay, careful and discreet.
Because
I'm going to say something about that discreet word in a minute.
All right.
Okay, come on, tell me what you want to say.
Okay, so
and discipline. You got to be disciplined.
Because
that's good.
You got to be very disciplined.
Discreet, disciplined, careful. Okay.
You don't want to be before people in the status that you're in.
Right.
And every year it's a different woman on y'all.
Yes, I agree.
And so
we on the same?
Yeah.
Okay,
right.
come
and
on.
so it takes, on the other end of that, it takes a woman who is understanding of the position that you're not a secret. You just ain't their business.
Right.
Okay. All right. You preachers have wait a minute. Wait. You preachers have such a skillful way of putting things so the woman will take it hook, line, and sinker. Y'all do. Girls, let me help you out right there now. Now, slow roll that thing. Because I remember when Bishop and I were dating. And, that was years ago, back in the dinosaur days. But look, he first gave me that line too about being discreet. And I was young, and I was like, okay, I get it. Because like you said, it's not anybody's business.
Right.
But now as time went on, I recognized how that discreet gave him an advantage, right? Because to keep me discreet, to keep me over here what nobody knew about me, gave him the opportunity to see other folk. Now, come on, let's walk right there.
Okay.
Because y'all are skillful.
Well, it is what it is.
What is it?
That's the reality of it. That when you're dating a man of a certain caliber, a certain position, there are things that come with it.
What?
You just have to.
That he should be able.
No,
to
I'm not saying that was right. I'm not saying that was right.
To me, it's the difference between being discreet and being secretive.
Yeah.
Come on now, that's where I'm going.
And now, if you can make a woman feel secretive, like ain't trying to tell you now, I ain't getting you in Bishop business. Now that might have been a that was a secretive.
We worked that out. We worked that out.
But now she public.
We worked that out.
Public.
You hung on in there.
36 years down the road.
Yeah, what I'm talking about.
Well, because really, and I'm not saying, now boy, but I'm not saying, I'm not saying he was doing anything, but it gave him that advantage that other women could see him and say, "Oh, well, he's not tied to anybody."
But see, that's where discipline comes in.
That's where discipline. That's why I like that word. Yeah. And let me just say on his behalf, he did because I said, "No, now I'm not gonna be the secret," but he did bring me on out. And everybody knew it, and it was all good. And here we are 36 years later. But I just want to make sure my chit-chatters, because y'all slick.
Well, to the chit-chatters, I'll say this. Here's some keys that I think you should look for.
Okay.
Have you met the people immediately around him that matter to him on an everyday basis?
Good. Yeah, that's like good. Now that's good.
His
that's
family,
significant.
his mom, his sisters, his best friends.
You've been thinking about this.
No, it's my life.
He's natural.
It's my life.
Well, and at 6 or
36.
7, 36, you ought to be a little wise.
Yeah, that's very important.
That is. I agree.
And especially if I start bringing you around my church.
Yeah.
Like, that's like,
absolutely.
That means it's getting a little serious.
Yeah. Right. You coming around the church.
Introduce members to you.
Right. Yeah. Not just coming to your church sitting in the back and nobody knows you. Baby, I have seen it all. Because whatever I didn't see with Bishop, he had all his friends and I saw what they were doing.
That's what they
so now you can't tell me.
They need to be in the back until
I don't think you need to be
you say it a different way though. Not in the back.
But you know what's funny though? Let me tell you something.
Okay.
Let me tell you this, Pastor. What's funny? Our generation is very different.
Yeah.
Now they won't be married, but they'll have like anniversaries and installations and be sitting up there with their girlfriend.
Yeah.
That's like kind of wild to me.
Yeah, and it's still so I would be perhaps more open if I was not still. I have another answer to it. Besides God, I still answer to my grandfather, who was my pastor.
Yeah, right.
And so I have to kind of move how he sees fit.
That's good. That's good.
I can't just move freely as I would want to.
Right.
Because I'm answering to my covering, which is my pastor.
Yeah. And that's wisdom right there.
And he's 75. So.
Right. So he
I got you.
You got a different kind of expectation of you. Do you all think, because you're successful in your own rights? I mean, people know you've preached everywhere, all that, and you're still up and coming in the midst of already having the success that you have. Do you think that women approach you simply because of your status and calling? I have always said, they don't care what you look like, just because you're a preacher.
Yeah.
And you get up there with a mic in your hand.
That's real.
No doubt. I think that applies to any area of life. Look at Jay-Z. I think any man of status, power, or uniform is more attractive.
Okay.
Because women are attracted to a man who can lead, especially a leader of men.
Right.
Anyone who can come in the room, command the room. Yeah.
And the notoriety that comes with it.
That most
like
definitely.
she's already picturing herself sitting up there with you,
or on your Instagram,
or on your whatever,
or on your Facebook.
Yeah,
this is my life.
Yeah, she's already.
The Lord is my shepherd. I don't have to own him. Okay, that's the reality.
But how do you deal with it? How do you know that this young lady is interested in the real me?
You know what, Pastor Linda? What I was talking to somebody, and I ain't gonna call his name, but he's very close to me, very dear to me. He says that you almost have to deal or marry a woman that loves you more than you love her.
Wow.
See, my mama told me the very opposite. She said, y'all know, y'all heard this. My mom said, marry a man that loves you more than you love him. But how do you know that? How do you know? See, you move to love, but how do you know? How do you know that this young lady that's, talking to you or whatever, it's really into you and not into the package?
That's when your spiritual part of you.
All right, we got to go spiritual.
You got to be spiritual. Okay. Right? I ain't no need to give
you.
That's got to be the only answer because
you can't just try to figure that in your flesh.
Have you had women who were interested in you because you're Frank rated third?
I mean, I've been me my whole life.
Okay.
So even before I was.
But I'm saying where you felt that.
It's hard to say.
Okay.
It's hard to say. I think where we are even now, it's difficult to really know these things. Like, you've been with Pastor for how long now?
36 years.
36 years. So you were there before New Life.
Absolutely.
Before Riverside.
Before he had anything.
That's what I'm saying.
A broke college.
All y'all broke
so
together.
that kind of love is more easier proven because
Absolutely.
y'all have been through certain things
Sure.
together. But a woman coming into our life is going
Where
to
you are
automatically be privy to certain luxuries that we just now may be coming into,
Sure.
that we had to work for and get to, and she feels entitled to because
Right.
this is the only version of us she knows.
Right.
So it's really hard. Like you said, I think the only way is sincere prayer and discernment for.
Yeah.
But even then, I've seen preachers miss it who say they done prayed. And
Yeah, my
this is
discernment
the
was a
one.
little off too at one
Yep.
point in time.
You're a mom. You're an example. You're a case study. You're a case study.
It got off a little bit. Just a
You're
little
a case
bit.
study. I mean, you know, yeah,
Right.
it happens. Let's go on further into this. You know,
Yeah.
I hear men say that women are so aggressive these days.
Oh my God.
On the dating scene. Are you all finding that to
Oh,
be
no
so?
doubt about it.
Really? What is? Tell me about it.
The DMs. I get all kind of stuff in my
Really?
DMs.
Are they sending naked pictures into your DM?
Not just pictures. I get videos. I get. It's all
What
kind
has
of
happened? Where are we getting
They
this?
going wild. Girls
It's
going
all
wild.
kind
Girls
of
gone
stuff.
wild.
It's all kind of stuff.
I'm amazed. This is why I'm amazed at the naked picture situation. And I mean, men too now. Men are doing this too.
Yeah.
I'm amazed because probably you're not going to be with that person all the time.
Right.
And now there's this picture floating out there
Right.
of you.
Right.
And I'm so glad I'm married and been married a long time, because if a guy would send me a naked picture of himself, I would post it, plaster it, and say, I would. That he had the nerve.
Like, really would sit there and do this.
I would.
Right,
I'm
right,
telling you.
right.
You trust me to send me? And you don't even know me. You haven't even, you know,
and
and
this
you
generation
trust
is like
me?
that.
But what's crazy is you as a woman, you could get away with it. But because we're men, they'll hold us. They be like, oh, he being messy. He being.
But why would you?
It's crazy now.
There's no investment. There's no commitment. And you just send me the most intimate part of you. Oh yeah, you gonna be
If I
posted.
could show you some of the DMs I got, you would be amazed.
So is that a turn off or a turn on?
Oh, it's a turn off.
I don't like it.
It's a turn off.
But
sure.
but you know, women, you know, and I say men do this too. So don't y'all come for me. I know men do it too.
Right.
I see some of your pictures that show me. These girls show. Do you know women show and tell?
Oh, no doubt.
Women show and
No
tell.
doubt. No
I wish
doubt.
men understood
No doubt.
that.
That's
I
why
tell
some of
them.
their friends be trying to talk to you after that. But
Absolutely,
anyway.
absolutely. So,
Yeah,
but
that's real.
so we're saying that it's not a turn on. But why do you think
No.
women think that?
I have no idea.
Why don't have no
It's
idea?
maybe-
Why do
maybe-
men think it?
maybe
Why do men
because-
think it?
I don't know any. I personally don't know any men that's. I don't think.
Mm.
I
I think
don't.
they like that kind of stuff.
But I think women do it because other men have responded.
Right.
Responded.
Right.
Okay.
I don't think they would continue doing it if somebody was not taking the bait.
Okay. All
Somebody
right.
taking the base.
Somebody getting it.
Okay. Somebody's getting it. We're gonna stop right there. We are going to take a commercial break and come back with this fascinating conversation that I am having with these two gentlemen, Johnteris Tate and Frank Ray III, better known as Trey. We'll be right back. We're back with Conversations with Linda, and let me tell you, I know you were laughing because I was at where we were in our conversation before we went to commercial break. I want to just keep this conversation going, and you know, look, who knows where it'll take us. Trey, you said in the men's edition that you had with Greg Davis that in the first few dates, a woman and man ought to meet somewhere.
Yes.
Not the man, as we have known, traditionally pick the woman up. Okay, that they should meet. Tell me a little bit about that, because you said some interesting comments about that.
Well, okay, so at the age I am now, I think when we think back in the day, it was normally a man going to that young lady's mother and father house,
Right.
picking her up.
Right.
So there was a sense of security and safety there
Sure.
already. So once you get up in age and a woman is living on her own, she's on her own. There's no extra sense of security, I would think.
Okay.
So I think it would be much safer meeting a guy somewhere rather than him coming to your house and picking you up. You might not even like him enough to know where
Want
you
him
live.
to know where you live, right?
Yeah.
So, okay, I get that. That makes sense to me.
Yeah.
But I am from that day, you know, where
You come to
all of those things, you got to come. You got to meet my mama and all
Mhm.
that, because she got to know what you had on before I left the house,
Right,
that kind of
Yeah.
thing. So that if I came up missing,
Right.
she would be able to describe who you were and all of that.
Right.
However, there's some other things that I think women are struggling with that they feel that men no longer do in a chivalrous way.
Okay.
You know, pulling out the chair
No,
for her to sit
Yes,
down.
Yes.
Right.
Do y'all
Yeah,
still
opening
do
the
that?
door.
Oh, I'm a firm
Opening the
believer in
door.
that. Yes.
Okay.
Her walking not on the outside of the street, but on the inside of the street.
Yeah.
You
That's my
sitting with
husband
your
all the way.
face towards the door,
Right.
like little stuff like that.
It matters.
It matters.
It matters.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're 30, almost 36 years in, and he still walks. I have to be
Yeah.
on the inside. He's got to sit at all of those things.
See that?
Even
And-
little stuff as far as if she says she got to get gas on the way, you should meet her at that gas station.
Absolutely.
Right.
And put the gas in the car for her.
That's
But
true.
do you think, because I've heard guys say, well, women don't even expect that anymore.
That's true.
Do you
They
think?
They
That's
don't.
true.
Women have become so independent
Mm.
that that's one of the hurting parts about dating or even getting married.
Because you want to do some of those things.
that you want your wife to depend on you.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
You look for that.
But do you think it's lost because it didn't get passed down? Or what happened?
I think it's a mixture of the programming of feminism now.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I've had women tell me, you ain't got to do all that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Go to pull the chair. You
Uh-huh.
ain't got to do all that. You doing
Wow.
too much.
You're doing too much.
I know
Wow.
right then this going to be our last date right here.
Because for you,
Yes.
that's a turnoff.
Yeah, you have to be willing. Like that's a sign right there that you have no ability to allow me to leave.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna force. I'm not gonna force you to let me leave, but you
Got
gotta allow me to.
Mm-hmm.
And so those are things that I look for, especially when you're dating for a bigger purpose, not just to have fun.
Right.
Okay.
You know, if you just having fun, none of that stuff matters.
Right.
So, well, let me ask you this.
Pull out your own chair.
Right. none, it don't even matter. You just-
Yeah. So, but at your age, 36,
Yeah.
are you dating with a purpose? Are you
Yes.
dating for play?
No. I'm definitely dating with marriage, with the intentions of marriage on my mind.
Oh.
Now I still ain't in no rush.
Okay. Well, you 36.
I ain't,
What?
I'll be fertile for a while. So
But wait a minute now.
Yeah.
Now you 36.
Mhm.
If you're, say for instance, she's 36.
Yeah.
You know, children, women start to think about, hey, I still want to have children and all of that. How do you balance that with, you know, you wanting, with her biological time clock?
Yeah.
And
Well, I think it's more significant for women than it is for men as far as
Sure.
the time clock thing.
sure.
And so that's more pressure on y'all than it is for me. Chit chatters, I'm sorry. But it is what it is.
I mean, but there shouldn't be any consideration to, I am 36, so
Yes,
women,
especially if I'm gonna date in my age group.
right.
Now,
And
if-
let's
if
go
I
there.
go
You
younger-
just you
if
are
I go
just
younger, it
you
ain't
do
no
know
issue.
you leading me.
He know,
You
he
leading
know.
me. He leading
Oh, he does this every week, so he
you
knows.
reeling me in. So what is your preference? Would you rather date women in your age range or
I'd rather
older or younger?
date for me. It don't matter what age. It
Okay.
don't matter what, because even if you're 40, even if you're older than me, there are still means to, like, let's say for instance, one of my absolutes is got to be able to have children.
Okay.
Let's say for whatever reason she's not even able to produce children.
Okay.
There are still other options. You can
Okay.
get a surrogate,
Okay.
in vitro,
Right.
stuff like that.
Absolutely.
So there are ways around it when it comes to age for women, for me.
So you would date a woman 45? How far would you go?
maybe 42.
42. Okay.
Maybe
Split the
40.
difference.
This should come with a
Split-
social
Yeah,
security check.
a decade is a little
This
up
come with
there.
a social security check.
Yeah, a decade
How,
might be a
how
little
far
up
would
there.
you go?
Um,
How far up the ladder would you go?
maybe 40.
At 29,
Yeah, maybe.
you would go up to 40.
That's it. No,
Okay. Wow.
Take two and want no more children.
I know. If my wife
Yeah.
desires that,
Okay, but
You
you
I
don't
don't-
have to
I
have
don't
it.
have.
But you'll go all the
I
way
have
up to 40.
the one I have is a spectacular in my ass.
See, I'm thinking about 50 and 60 though. That's you being a man 50, her as a woman 60.
That's far.
What are you trying to say?
I'm just saying.
Wait.
Now,
I'm trying to
used
see where this
seeing-
is
now, but I
going.
am used to seeing men 70, wife 60
Yeah.
or 50.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
In
It's
my
gonna be a little
case,
different when you get up there.
we even saw a couple guys who got some 20-year-olds
Yeah.
Yeah,
and 30-year-olds.
yeah. But
And
have,
they
have
75.
those private conversations. You find out how that's working.
But that's the thing now.
It is.
Dwayne Wade, Gabrielle Union.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
It's the thing.
That's
Okay.
the
I just want to know if the thing is working. That's all.
Right.
So you were saying, your absolutes.
Mhm.
I was just looking at this post about men ordering desserts on the first date. Did y'all see that?
I did see that. That's foolishness.
Yeah. So just in case you all didn't see, I was talking about if one of the red flags for women was if the men ordered dessert on the first date, that was a red flag because he could possibly be gay or what have you. Yeah, that was a little ridiculous because
So ridiculous.
but
So you can't eat no.
That's so ridiculous.
yeah,
They come up
but
with all kind of stuff.
but everybody's talking about red flags these days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on, what are your red flags?
Oh
Johnteris?
my God.
What are your red flags?
One of the red flags to me.
Mm-hmm.
Now I think a lady should always include her mama, but if she include her in everything,
Okay,
that's a red flag.
that's a red flag.
That's
okay,
a red. Like
because you don't want mama in
come
the
on,
business.
it's our business.
Gotcha.
That's a red flag.
Okay.
I feel
Okay.
you on that.
Another red flag is when she just talk too much. I mean,
Now you're gonna have to.
you gotta answer for everything. You gotta, and when I say talk too much, is it okay? If you see it this way, they come back, and especially if it's on positive end,
Okay.
and they come and try to pull negativity out of it. That just bothers me. That's a red flag. Like you see everything negative. Come on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So
Yeah.
you don't want a negative woman.
Oh Lord, no.
Okay. She may think she's not negative. She's just a realist.
Well,
It's negative for
if
you.
that's what you want to call her.
So
She's something.
She's
Cause
something.
now when you said talk too much, that make the hair on the back of my neck. Okay, all right, I'm gonna throw this over
What's
to
your
you.
definition of talking too much?
Yeah, back in the day, men didn't want a woman to talk a lot. Right?
Yeah.
Really? I do have something to say. I do have an opinion about that.
Yeah, this be.
Yeah, what subservient? What is
Be
that?
cool.
What is that?
You
All
got
right,
some
don't y'all
women.
fall for it.
You got some
Don't y'all fall
women
for it.
chit chatters who come in and take over the conversation.
Sure,
Right.
sure.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
That doesn't really concern her.
Right.
It's not a. She should honor or recognize when the men are talking. Is
No,
that
no,
what you saying?
No. Now, Pastor Linda, now you've probably been at the table with your husband, with
Yeah.
his friends.
Yeah.
You ain't just jumping in
Yeah.
at everything. You just listening, probably laughing.
Well.
It's a
So-
seven.
Yeah.
I mean,
maybe. But let me tell you though, for real. He and I have mutual respect for one another.
right.
And so when we come to the table, what I do recognize and what I do respect is if it's someone that has come to talk to him,
Right.
then I am going to be just a supporter
Right.
in the conversation.
Yeah.
But now if we come to the table together, Linda Willis is going to show up
Right.
Absolutely.
and
And it's
on her
true.
spot at the table.
Absolutely.
You
So,
know.
and-
So
and-
yeah, but I do
I'm-
understand what you're
So
saying.
I go to, I preach a lot. So I
Yeah.
preach for guys who got loud wives.
Yeah.
They're just loud. They come in loud.
Ooh, I can
table,
feel
loud.
these women. I feel these women.
Loud. They just got
Yeah.
something to say and everything. and he the quiet one.
Yeah.
So
but you know,
it may be vice versa.
Yeah,
The
but
yin and the yang.
yeah, the yin and the yang, and they
Yeah.
probably, because what is she gonna do if he's just passive or? I know, but hey, you have a right. Here's what I believe: you have a right to say this is the kind of woman I want.
Yeah.
I do, and I really do understand. I know what you're
Meek
talking
and all.
about. Meek and
She ain't
all.
got to be like can't talk.
Yeah.
Not like you speak when I speak. No. Not
Uh-huh.
like that. I'm with
You like a quiet natured woman.
Yeah.
But can she
Maybe
be-
because I've been around some women just loud.
Gotcha.
We just talking so much loud.
That's one of his triggers.
That's a trigger.
Woo,
You know,
that's
I
a
really,
red flag.
you know, I want to unpack that. I want to say, let's talk about it. Let's talk about where did this trauma?
You have to
this
bring
trauma
a couch
start?
out
Yeah.
here and be my new
And I
therapist.
can do that. I can do that.
I promise
can do
you.
who traumatized.
Yes,
And what
Lord.
does that say
Yeah.
to you
Like,
about who you are? As
yeah.
a,
See, I'm peaceful.
Oh, okay, peaceful. All
I'm
right.
quiet.
All right. I'll take it. I'll take it. So let me throw that to you, Trey. What are some of your red flags?
Any woman who's imbalanced,
Okay.
Mhm.
Unpack that for me.
too spiritual,
Okay.
can't do it.
Too spiritual.
If all you do is read your Bible,
Okay.
if all you do is listen to gospel music,
Okay.
if all you want to do is go to church,
Now you know the people are saying, but now you're a preacher.
now,
He
I ain't gonna be able to
wanted
do
to listen to Nikki and Meg the Stallion.
we gotta have some young Dolph.
Okay. Okay.
Some you can listen to Maverick City and trap music and be okay.
So now that's okay. So I gotta really go here because I have a lot of my saved girls, Christian girls, say, these saved gentlemen, these saved guys, they ain't really wanting a saved girl.
Now we don't really want a religious girl.
Okay, unpack that.
Your relationship is extremely important with God.
Okay.
However, you're still human. You are not spirit. Even
Okay.
Jesus wasn't spiritual all the time.
Okay. So you just want to, are you saying, now I'm not trying to put words in your mouth,
Go ahead.
but you need a little ratchet?
Absolutely.
Hey,
That-
you heard it right
Yeah,
here on
yeah,
Conversations with Linda.
Balance is
Trey
important.
is looking for a little ratchet and a
Yeah.
little righteous. Good mix.
Absolutely.
Good mix.
Balance.
Balance.
That's called
Okay.
balance.
Okay.
Can't be all the way over here. Listen, let's pray.
Holy and hellish.
Holy and hellish.
When I get down to church on Sunday, we going to brunch.
Okay. Okay.
We gonna have us some mimosas.
Okay. Going to get.
Yeah,
Now, should she expect that you're gonna want to take her to bed? Hey, y'all said I could ask. Y'all said I could
No,
ask.
she should not expect that.
Okay. But what should she finish that sentence?
I don't know.
She ain't gonna expect no prayer. Not no prayer. Ten chapters ain't will not be praying, okay? Ain't no prayer. He just told y'all he want to rest.
If you taking me to brunch,
Prayer's over.
we've had mimosas.
Church is
Where do
over.
we go from there?
Well, you probably going back to your house.
Okay. All right. Hey,
It
Till we get
depends
to
on.
a certain point.
Okay.
Yeah.
Till it gets to a certain point.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, y'all grown men.
Yeah. Then
We grown folk. I want to have this conversation.
mutually agreed
Mutually agreed.
to activities that
Okay.
take place after that.
Uh-huh.
Then the expectation is there.
So how do you balance that with, this whole, I know, I'm telling you, they are lit right now with questions
I know.
and saying, how do you balance that with what people will say, you're a preacher
Mm-hmm.
and you're supposed to live holy
Mm-hmm.
and you're taking these women to bed.
Mm-hmm.
What do you say to that?
It's a whole lot we can say, but not in 5 minutes before.
Oh, you're going to take me to commercial. You're going to take me to commercial on my own
A
show.
whole lot we can say to that.
He has taken over my show and make me go to commercial.
He already told y'all he
frankly
want them
speaking.
ratchet and righteous.
I mean, but I mean, there are people who struggle with that.
Absolutely.
And I think that we got to start having real conversation about it.
Absolutely.
to see how we navigate this 21st century culture.
Absolutely.
With, the Holy Writ.
Yeah.
I mean, we just got to start talking about that.
Because the reality is, ain't nobody waiting to get married to live with each other no more.
Yeah.
But should they? I promise you I'm going to go to commercial after this.
I'm going to say this. Me personally, I did that. I waited.
Okay.
And, but I don't really think you get a chance to really figure out that person.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think y'all need to create some kind of ability to get to know each other. I ain't saying you got to move all the way in. Y'all got to stay together, figure out something, because you may not like a clean house.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Wait a minute. Let me slow this down.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. I think I'm gonna take a commercial break because I want plenty of time.
Oh yeah, we gotta talk about this.
We gotta talk about this.
We gotta talk about it.
All right, Chit Chatters, you hang in there with me. Go get you some popcorn or something, and 30 seconds we'll be right back. All right, Chit Chatters, you're back. I know you were hanging on the edge of your seat. I couldn't wait to get back to you. Actually, we were talking off camera. I got to go back to this.
Okay.
So you said, now reflecting, you didn't get a chance to get to know, you did it the traditional way.
I did it the right way.
You did what you call the
what
right
people
way.
Call it the right way.
Okay. Now you feel differently. Tell me, you said you think, because your words, not mine.
Right.
You said, I think people should live together.
Well, no, I wouldn't say pick her up or y'all just move completely in. I think you should create some kind of space where you all stay with each other more so you can see the other side. Okay. Because if you just date and I just come over your house and,
how would that be? Work that out for me.
I don't care if y'all got to stay with each other a week at a time, a week out of a month. But it's something gotta come so you can learn that individual. Because the living is gonna be living with an individual versus I can walk out your house, go to mine. You got your space, I got my space. Because when these two spaces come together, it becomes a different story.
But I think, and I'm not trying to go super spiritual on you guys, but I do think that's why the Bible talks about husbands deal with your wives. Right. According to knowledge. When I think about that, I think about, and I tell people that all the time, Bishop and I have been married, it'll be 36 years in August.
That's amazing.
But we're still always learning.
Right.
You spend a lifetime becoming one.
Right.
So isn't there room in the relationship, in the marriage, to still learn each other?
Right.
Can we do that?
Most definitely. But my thing is, what's the difference with y'all going out of town and staying together in a room for a week?
Well, even in the room for a week, that is
y'all
still...
ain't got double beds.
No, I know, but I'm saying in the room. But when you say it as a solution to the issue of problems in marriage, I think there's still, when you go out of town and stay for a week, it is still a contrived environment. It's still not a real... I'm bringing out my best negligee. I'm doing all of that. You're not getting all of that.
Right.
When you get her, you understand what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm not wearing the bonnet, and I'm not wearing the
truth.
bonnet, so it's still a mate. You sweating?
No, I'm scratching my.
You can't.
Okay, let me come up on you. Let me come up on you.
You can't wear that bonnet to time to sleep.
I just feel like I think it is a process of learning each other over a period of time, years and years and years. It takes years, but.
Because you change.
You got to be
even when you learn each other.
The foundation.
Yeah. I agree.
You go. I think I'm looking at it from the foundation part. Like, do you clean up?
Yeah.
Because if you don't clean up, and I didn't know you didn't clean up, when I marry you, you're not gonna clean up.
And that is.
If you was trifling before we said I do, and I didn't know that, and even if you just because I'm telling you, it becomes a different ball game.
Yeah.
From 36 years ago, it's totally different now.
Y'all say that.
Yeah.
Y'all say that.
No, we ain't saying it. We know it.
You are a unique woman.
Yeah,
God
we know
made you with different abilities,
I think-
different gifts.
No, they different.
These,
They
They
different.
different. They different because your generation of women taught our generation of women. I'm not saying you did. I'm just saying in general.
Yeah, I
as
got
a status quo. Taught our generation of women that get your bag first.
Sure.
Worry about a man later.
Yeah.
So
when
everything
you
with
get
a
him,
man
don't lose yourself.
is an afterthought.
But don't you think that the men were told the same thing?
No, we were taught to provide for the woman, protect.
No, you all were not. No, you all were not.
Be real though.
You 29. I got a 32-year-old and a 34-year-old, and I promise you, I was saying, you didn't listen, but I was saying, you know, go on, live your life, go to school, do all of that, then worry about a woman.
Right.
So y'all men were taught that too. And listen, and I'm gonna tell you another reason why it's I can say that we had our challenges too, because back in the day, yeah, you're right. Our mothers were teaching us how to be wives.
Right.
I mean, I knew my whoever was gonna be my significant other, I'm talking about significant, I had to cook them a meal because it was something you wanted that man to know you could cook.
Yeah.
But now the guys were being taught sow your wild oats first. So we were still struggling because while she was teaching me to be, now I did kind of have a revolutionary mama now. Y'all know my mama. She got on with the Lord, but she did teach me both sides.
Yeah.
However, we were struggling because we were taught to be wise. We were taught to, you know, clean the house. Maybe a man likes a good clean house when he comes home from work and all of that. The guys were not being taught all of that. They were like, have every woman you can so that you can have all that out your system.
But see, it has not changed for us. It changed for y'all. And so we wonder why it's taking us so much longer to get married.
Okay.
Because one of the entering parties have changed in their philosophy on what is important in life.
But it changed, I'm saying, because what we were doing was not working. I mean, it worked for me, but I'm saying it wasn't working. So women then were taught, don't work. No, I'm saying, when I say not working, because if he's sowing his wild oats, what are you going to do when he gets in the marriage and he's still sowing? And now I've been taught to be a wife. All I know to do is be a wife.
Yeah.
So women started teaching their daughters, girl, get your own. So that if he won't act right. No, get your own. You know, get your education, get your money, get your bag, get your coins, get all of that. First. So that if he doesn't act right,
you still have something.
You still have something.
Yeah.
Y'all with me on that?
Yeah, I got that.
So I think it's all convoluted.
Yeah.
We gotta somewhere, but how do we stop this train and start over to get everybody?
I think when we start,
first of all, we need to get everybody back in church. Because things were way better when everybody was in church.
But is that gonna be reality though?
No, it ain't gonna be reality.
It's got to be a great falling away. So it's going to happen. I think one of the issues, as far as this marriage thing, is that, especially I hate doing chit chatters, but I got to say, especially with women.
Okay.
When it comes to the idea of marriage, most see the wedding.
Absolutely.
And not the wife.
Absolutely.
Right.
And so kind of to what Tate is speaking to, I think it depends on the kind of woman you see you're with.
Right.
Is she really ready to be a wife? If she's not, then I do think you need to take some extra precautions to make sure that this is going to be a longevity thing and not just a seasonal thing.
How or what are those precautions?
I think what he's saying, make sure that you're in each other's space more than the usual dating thing.
Okay.
I'm not opposed to cohabitating.
Okay, you're not opposed to checking.
Yeah, if that's what you want to call it. I'm not opposed to cohabitating.
He's gonna go to the Bible on you and think it ain't this.
I'm not opposed to cohabitating. I think it teaches you a lot about a person, how they spend their money, what they prioritize, when they get home, how are their mood swings.
You can't see that.
You don't see none of
that. And so when you get married, when you get married, you have to inherit that.
Yeah.
Or yet go through a divorce.
But y'all are missing the point,
What's
gentlemen.
the point?
The point is, in marriage, you're committed
Right.
to what you get.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
Right? So,
But I might
even,
not want it. I might not want it if I know what I'm getting beforehand.
So then, and beforehand, you have the option not to take it.
Exactly.
Right? But cohabitation, and I can tell you this as a counselor,
Mm-hmm.
having counseled for years now, premarital, it does not work.
Mm-hmm.
People who shack,
Mm-hmm.
cohabitate, they come out quicker than the people who don't.
Really?
I'm delivered.
Let me tell you why. Let me give you my point. Let me give you my point.
Okay.
I love talking to y'all. Though. This is good. I love this. Let me give you my point. Because if I've already lived with you 5 years
Mm-hmm.
or 10 years, I know some have done 10, and I've already struggled in the relationship, had ups and downs, put up with you, had all of this, and now, okay, well, we gonna get married 5 years in, 10 years in, we gonna get married.
Mm-hmm.
We're not starting at year 1.
No doubt.
We're really starting at year 5 or 10.
Yeah.
So now I don't even have as much
I know
patience or
somebody who's
tolerance.
been together for 26.
Yeah,
Still not married.
No, they just
Okay.
about to get married.
but I don't have as much tolerance because I'm really not. We are not a
'Cause I
year
already
1.
know you.
I already been through so much with you already.
Mm-hmm.
So I was not happy with you leaving your drawers on the floor when we were just shacking.
Mm-hmm.
And what we do think is when we get married, it's gonna be better.
Right.
And it doesn't. And
No.
and they come out of those marriages quicker
I believe that.
than the person who did not live together.
So what you're saying is we just need to delay the divorce.
No, what I'm saying is we need to do a better job at dating.
Yeah.
Right.
I really do think
Take our
that
time.
we need to take our time.
Yeah.
I think that we need to get healed.
Yeah.
Before
That's
we,
real.
I'm serious. Much of our stuff
Yeah.
is our trauma that's being unpacked in
Yeah.
the marriage.
Mm-hmm.
That when we come into marriage, we bring in all our clothes and shoes, but we bring in whatever that last person did to us. We bring in mama, daddy issues, all of that, our
Yeah.
own insecurities, our own issues.
Yeah.
And so I think that's the mistake we made. I got married young.
Mm-hmm.
Thank God I didn't have a lot of trauma. But for my age group, we got married young.
Right.
And we brought all that trauma into our marriage. So I'm saying a guy like you at 37, I'm expecting
36.
for 36. I'm sorry, because I got to give you your 4
Right,
years,
thank
right?
you.
I'm expecting you to be healed and whole.
Yeah.
Right.
So marriage should look different on him than it looked on you when you got how old were you when you got married?
Maybe 24, 25.
Yeah. See, you were still figuring you out. You were still.
I've been traumatized.
Let me ask you a question.
Your copay and your insurance card, and I'll help you.
I got it.
Give me your
covered,
copay,
y'all.
your
She
insurance
telling me,
card.
this is my new therapist.
Let me ask you a question.
Okay, come
Now, I
on,
want
I'm
you
here
to be
for
really
it.
honest.
Sure.
In your experience
Mhm.
counseling,
Mhm.
who would you say handles criticism and being brought to the table worse, men or women?
Women.
And that's the issue that you run into at my age, if you're trying to date in your age bracket, because
Mhm.
a lot of women have what I like to call princess syndrome.
Okay.
They've been taught their whole lives, ain't nothing. You're gorgeous, you're pretty, you're
Sure,
the best
sure.
thing. And especially one that got a father in their life that's active,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
they've learned love without responsibilities.
Sure.
And so that's all they know.
Right.
Preach, man.
And so when a man comes along that loves you, but also requires accountability and
Yeah.
responsibility, it's an issue.
Right.
Yeah.
It is just as difficult. We often think about, women, the ones that struggle are the ones that didn't have good daddies. No, it's a struggle for women when they had the best dad,
Yeah.
because it sets
believe
up a false sense of or idea of what marriage and relationship and a husband. Your husband is not going to be like
Yeah.
your daddy.
Yeah.
And if he is, there's something a little wrong with that, right?
Absolutely.
So I agree with you.
Yeah.
I agree with you. But I think that there's another reason why women struggle with criticism.
Okay.
We struggle with criticism because the expectation has been so great on us as women
Okay.
that now you're dealing with my self-esteem.
Right.
You're dealing with my psyche, because I've had to be the perfect little girl, the perfect student,
Right.
where guys kind of got a little pass on that. Oh, he a
Right.
boy,
Right.
as long as he makes a C so he can keep playing basketball or
Right.
football.
Yeah.
Right.
And so we struggle with perfectionism.
Absolutely.
And so when you bring us to the table and with a criticism, you've triggered us. Now it's no longer even about the issue. It's about what's living on the inside of me that said, I got to be good enough. So yeah, but you got to know that. That's why the Bible says, deal with your wife according to knowledge.
Yeah.
You got to know that.
That's
Yeah.
true.
You got to know what she's dealing with to be able to do that.
Yeah.
But okay, I know y'all
That's
want me
real,
to ask.
though. That's real.
We have just gone off into a whole nother. Y'all got to come back, because we got to work this relationship thing out. I believe there's hope. I believe there's hope. So y'all got to come back, because we got more to talk about.
Sure.
Since we're talking about marriage, being a public figure, going through a private struggle because you're not married anymore.
Right.
How did you handle that?
Pastor Linda, it was hard.
Okay.
Ain't no need to acting like death is like a divorce is like a death.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It was like it was a lot on me being a new pastor, new church, new congregation, not knowing what direction this could take me in. Didn't know how serious it was, because I followed a guy who had a wife and they've been married 50 plus years.
Yeah.
The founder and his wife.
Yeah.
So for a church to go with a third pastor in less than a year or two going through that was trauma to me.
Okay.
And then I had a little baby. So my concern was, Lord, what, she's gonna have to come through a broken family like I went through, and I never wanted that for her.
Gotcha.
But what kept me sane and what kept me in my right mind was every time I tried to go to a place of being low and depressed or hurt. Now I was at a point I lost weight.
Yeah.
I couldn't eat. I couldn't do nothing. But it never affected my preaching.
Okay.
It made my preaching strong.
Sure. And I've seen guys preach their way through.
And I had to do that.
Yeah.
Some people can go sit and talk to a counselor, therapist, and get through it like that. But I knew that the only thing that could get me out of this, and then the Lord kept me busy.
Yeah.
And some people might say, well, you was just sweeping it under the rug and not confronting it, but that's not true. Because I came to grips with it.
Okay.
And but it was much prayer that helped me through it. Much prayer, talking to people.
And that's what I was getting ready to
and
ask
getting on
you.
that show, clowning.
Okay.
It's therapy.
It was therapy for me.
But that's what I was going to ask you, because oftentimes when you're a public figure, and especially in ministry, you struggle with having someone to talk to.
Right.
Because, in ministry, we're the ones always giving out the advice and always finding, helping people find solutions. Was there any pastor, preacher, man that you could just talk to that mentored you through that? Other than, I know you preached now, I know you prayed.
I had words of encouragement, keep your head up.
Yeah.
But my blessing came through my members.
Okay.
They
How
would
so?
say stuff like me being have a new daddy, you can worry about your child. Have a mother walk up to me and say, I know you worry about that baby.
Gotcha.
But can I tell you something? A baby don't stay a baby forever.
Okay.
So it's little stuff like that.
That you
that triggered
onto.
it. Saying, oh wow, you know what? You're right.
Okay.
You're right. It was God would send just stuff through the people.
Okay.
To give me what I need.
Okay.
To say, okay, listen, it's like people go through
That's
that.
good. I'm glad to hear that, because I think the church gets such a bad rap.
Yeah.
But there are good people in
they're
church.
really good
They're
people who
good
gonna
people.
stand beside
Absolutely.
you.
Absolutely.
And even when I went, and nobody knows this, but when I went before the church, my whole entire church, all 400-500 of them got up, got around in a circle, put their arms around and prayed for me.
That's good. That's good.
And
that's
said,
good.
"We here for you."
Yeah.
Never lost a member. Never lost a beat.
Awesome.
The church
awesome.
is growing.
Yeah.
And so, you know, and I thought it was a total, complete embarrassment. Come on, it's a failure. If you don't make it, it's an embarrassment.
Yeah.
So I was embarrassed because I know how young pastors and preachers look up to me.
Yeah.
And how I've become a role model, not even knowing.
Sure.
And I'm saying something like this can happen.
Absolutely.
And it
It's
happens to
real.
the best of us.
It does. It happens to the.
But I rebound, recovered, and got back up again.
Thank the Lord.
Yeah.
Thank the Lord.
Yeah.
Woo! All right. Now you got a real testimony.
Yeah.
At 9, you didn't have a testimony, but you got one now.
At 29, I got a big one. I know what I'm preaching about now. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Okay, so you said, have I asked y'all about your top qualities? You said she can't be loud. Can't be loud.
See y'all now.
What's the number one quality for you?
Number one quality.
For you to say, I'm ready to marry you today. What's her number one quality that she has to have? You at 36, you need to know this now.
When I'm in our space, it has to feel like a sanctuary of sort. It has to feel peaceful. You have to create peace at home, because I can't. Like, this is a war zone. We come into, like, you have to deal with some stuff, and coming from that to home, it has to feel like a safe space, like a sanctuary at home, a place of peace.
I agree with you, and I was taught that, and I practiced that. The woman sets the atmosphere for the home. She sets the climate, and I really was taught that you create that peaceful space. If he's dealt with all kind of battles out there, he doesn't need to come home
and be a war zone.
Absolutely. So I agree with you, and I'm glad you can identify
but
that.
Being quiet is not my top quality.
Okay, straighten that out.
They're talking about I want you to shut up. No. What's a top quality to me to say I want to marry you? You are a helper.
Okay. All right.
You are there to help.
She in it with you.
You in it.
I'm ready till the wheels roll off. I think that's
in there to build it.
Yeah.
Whatever, what you don't know what you're doing, but let me handle this. I'll take care of this for you.
Right.
You do your job.
I love that. I think that's.
You can look at your ambition and see y'all
absolutely.
Y'all have that.
We do. I mean, as you said,
you can see that from far,
we started with nothing.
Right.
And so I was so into, we got this together. Whatever you in, I'm in.
Yeah.
But let me tell you what I appreciate about him. So when you say that, what I appreciate about him is he appreciated my help.
Yes.
And when life began to turn and we began to experience a measure of success,
right,
he shared it with me. So often women give their all,
and push to the side.
And they're pushed to the side. They're in the back. Now he's Reverend so-and-so, Apostle Bishop, all that, Pope, everything. And she's nothing.
Right.
She's getting nothing.
Yeah.
And I think that's where you see the bitterness.
Yeah.
You see the resentment of women.
That's real.
And you're saying, oh, I can't stand that pastor's wife. She's so, whatever. She's so unfriendly. Because often she's feeling that.
Right. That's true.
Now everybody's fixing your plate and, they realm what you need, pass what, and she's just kind of over there. But he never did treat me. I mean, I'm telling you, we're on our third church now. First church, 200 members, really 100 members if you, after installation, everybody there installation. But after that, he never treated me that way. And so I think that's important. So don't y'all forget that.
Yeah.
Those women who grind with you, you make sure that she experiences that success with you. Yeah. So I got to ask you all this, because you all have said some controversial things here in this conversation. I'm up for it because I love hearing the different perspectives, right? Yeah. But we are living in such a cancel culture time
Right.
Yeah.
that people, you say one thing they don't like or they don't agree with. You know, how you a preacher, how you gonna say that? And they cancel you.
Right.
How do you all navigate this cancel culture and stay true to yourselves, you know, and what you think and feel at the time, but deal with the that your stance may cause you to be canceled?
Well, for me, it's real simple. Nobody can cancel where God put me.
Okay.
So people can be here today, gone today.
Sure.
But as long as I'm secure in my relationship with God, and I know I have a pure heart,
Sure.
regardless of what's controversial from a social standpoint,
Sure.
as long as I believe I'm in good standing with Him, I'm good.
Okay. All right. What about you?
Well, I just know every battle is not mine. I'm not a part of everything, so I got to learn to stay in my space.
Okay.
You know, I leave social justice for Jamal Bryant, Freddie Haynes. I leave other stuff for that's their lane.
Sure.
Yeah.
So you got to know where you are. I leave, you know, the preachers who like the same sex in their lane. I don't have nothing against whatever you do your thing. I stay in my lane to keep peace and follow peace with all men and love everybody.
Okay.
And that's how, you know, if they counsel me, they just wanted to counsel me from the beginning.
I agree. Well, nobody's canceling you today because this is Conversations with Linda, and they know that we just have good conversation. That's what
Wonderful
it's all about. I love to hear how people think and feel. So y'all know I'm out of time, but I'm never out of conversation. Tune in each Sunday evening at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time right here. I gotta have these guys back because I got like 3 or 4 more cards worth of questions that I've got to ask them. Okay, y'all have a good week. You know what? They're telling me we're gonna go over to YouTube, and we got some more for you over at YouTube because I am gonna ask them just a few more questions. All right, y'all take care. God bless you.